Let's talk about the Democratic Party, the only thing more dysfunctional than the HBO Max app. Right now, Democrats in Congress are fighting over which parts of President Biden's agenda are most important to keep. Is addressing climate change more important than expanding paid family leave? Is free pre-K more important than free college? Should every American get okay health care, or should one American get super amazing health care that makes them immortal? And the reason they have to make these decisions is that they need all 50 Democratic senators to pass Biden's agenda. And 2 of them are insisting on bringing the price tag down from $3.5 trillion to about $2 trillion. And $1.5 trillion is a huge cut. I mean, no one's lost that much money since Jeff Bezos got divorced. And it's kind of weird that there are 2 senators who are okay with spending $2 trillion, but not a penny more. I mean, what's the difference between 2 and 3 trillion? People don't even have calculators that go that high. I mean, like, once you're 6 digits past boobless, it's all imaginary money anyway. Now, the 2 senators standing in Biden's way are Joe Manchin, representing the great state of his houseboats, and Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema, seen here on a diplomatic trip to Margaritaville. And while Manchin has been pretty clear that he'll support the legislation as long as it saves West Virginia from the ravages of clean air and water, pinning down what Senator Sinema wants has been a lot harder to figure out.
Democrats hope to pay for the roughly $2 trillion package by increasing taxes on the wealthy and big corporations. But one key holdout, Senator Kyrsten Sinema, is not on board with that.
One of the big challenges for Democrats in this final stretch has been that they don't really know where Senator Sinema stands because she hasn't made her views public.
She is the sphinx of all this. Nobody can figure out what is making her tick.
That's right. Kyrsten Sinema is the sphinx of the Senate. Partly because nobody knows what she's thinking, and partly because she won't give anyone the bathroom key before answering her riddles.
Nice try, Kyrsten, but I'm just gonna pee in my pants.
And you know, it's weird that in the Senate, withholding information can actually give you power. Like, what other job can get away with that? A waiter doesn't become more influential by refusing to tell you what the specials are. Excuse me, sir, what are the specials of the day? Ooh, wouldn't you like to know? Okay, are you guys ready to order? But maybe to figure out what Sinema wants, you first have to understand who she is. So let's do that. Let's get to know Senator Sinema in another installment of Please Allow Me to Introduce Yourself. Kyrsten Sinema was born and raised in Arizona, which is already tough. I mean, everything there is trying to kill you. The animals, the heat, even the plants are covered in daggers. But Sinema's childhood was especially tough. She grew up poor, and at times her family was even homeless. But she overcame those obstacles. She got an advanced degree and became a lawyer, a social worker, and an activist. It's the kind of story they turn into an inspiring movie that you swear you'll watch once it lands on Netflix and then just never do. Basically, she was the kind of person you'd hope would run for office, and then that's exactly what she did.
Sinema first started out far left of center as a Green Party activist, entering politics in Arizona as a Ralph Nader supporter, organizing anti-war protests after the September 11th attacks.
The states are the laboratories of democracy, and then my state, Arizona, is clearly the meth lab of democracy.
She fought against the same-sex marriage ban. She fought for the rights of immigrants. She spoke out about mass incarceration. She fought to include gender identity in anti-discrimination laws. She led a successful effort to kill a ban on affirmative action, and she strongly opposed abortion restrictions.
Tea Party Republic is all the same thing. It's called crazy.
Kyrsten Sinema once invited a coven of feminist witches to protest the Iraq War in 2003.
Yeah, that's right. She once brought witches to protest the Iraq War, which, to be honest, does not seem like the best use of their skill set. I mean, if you got witches on your side, don't waste them on a protest. You get them to cast a love spell between George Bush and Saddam Hussein, you know, really spice things up. And by the way, it's funny how it was specifically a coven of feminist witches. Because, I mean, that seems redundant, you know, like saying emo vampire. It comes with the territory. I mean, are there any witches who are not feminist?
Call me old-fashioned, but it's the woman's job to push the children into the oven.
But yes, it can be hard to believe now, but Sinema started her political career as a hardcore progressive. So you might expect that the reason she's holding up the Democrats' legislation is because it doesn't turn America into a socialist paradise with free healthcare, free education, free milk made from nuts you've never even heard of. But that's not the case. Because as young Sinema's star began to rise, it also started drifting to the right.
Her politics began to shift as she sought higher office. After winning her first congressional campaign in 2012, she joined the Blue Dog Coalition, a group of centrist House Democrats.
Sinema, who once doggedly fought for immigrants and refugees as a social worker and attorney, chose to side with Republicans in voting to block undocumented immigrants from receiving stimulus checks.
And with her ascent to the U.S. Senate, she attempted to take over the late Senator John McCain's mantle of maverick, opposing abolishing the filibuster and voting against raising the minimum wage, bucking her party in the model of McCain.
Kyrsten Sinema admits she doesn't like to mention her party affiliation in her ads.
Are you a Democrat?
I am.
Proud Democrat?
Oh my gosh, it's hard to say proud. I don't know that, I'm not sure that people are even proud of parties anymore, because I feel like the parties are not doing a good job.
Oh, damn. She talks about being a Democrat the way a person talks about owning an Android phone. I don't actually like it. I'm just on my mom's family plan. Yeah, it's not like my phone. And look, changing views, especially political views, that's totally normal. A lot of people, when they're young, are idealistic and have passionate beliefs. But as they get older, they decide that their most passionate belief is not paying taxes. What's unusual about Sinema is that she shifted so far, so fast. I mean, she went from hosting witch covens to denying immigrants health care in just a few years. It's almost like she got bitten by a radioactive Ted Cruz or something. And what's interesting is that as Sinema's politics became more mainstream, her personality picked up the slack.
Kyrsten Sinema becomes the first woman ever to serve as senator in Arizona. So it's a very big deal. She's a 3-term congresswoman. She is a triathlete.
She broke barriers coming to Congress as the first out bisexual member, but it's never part of her identity that she's dwelled on, even telling reporters when asked back in 2005, "Duh, I'm bisexual."
It's safe to say the U.S. Senate has never seen anyone like her before. She's made quite the presence with her colorful wigs and bright outfits.
Her unique and edgy style, from this F-off ring to her colorful wigs to this dangerous creature shirt she wore to preside over the Senate floor.
Breaking the internet.
Good.
All emphasizing her nonconformist core in both style and substance.
Yep. Sinema rolled into Congress like she was a senator from Candyland. And honestly, this might be my favorite thing about her. I mean, I love a senator who shows some style, you know, especially in a place where all these guys think rolling their sleeves up 6 inches is a glow-up. I think it's nice to see one of them looking like they didn't just grab whatever was available in the Senate's communal soup bucket. It's a change. So, that's Senator Kyrsten Sinema, a once committed progressive who now changes her political beliefs like their wigs. And who knows? Maybe her most core belief is getting as much attention for herself as possible. But regardless, this is bad news for Joe Biden. Because his only hope is that she suddenly changes her political views back as fast as she changed them the first time. And I don't think she's going to do that. Or at least she's not going to do it on her own. So, Joe Biden, you might want to get those witches back together.